Hello everyone, and welcome to the Yissilmissil Productions channel. My name is Steven Yissel, and today we are continuing our deep dive series into the Bermuda Triangle. We will be reading from chapter 4. We have this large list of planes that went missing, and we'll be reading off all those names. And just thank you for being here. I really appreciate that you guys are here going through all this with me. So we have this list to go through, and we also have some photographs that we'll check out at the end here of the various planes. But today's chapter is titled Aircraft Damage and Injury Index Presumed. So if you're reading along, it's page 89. And again, we're on the second Bermuda Triangle book by Gian J. Quasar. So let's get this Illuminati up here on the screen. Alright. So one key thing that stands out to me here is we have this phenomenon when these ships and planes go into this zone that is coined the Bermuda Triangle. A lot of known physics that we understand is completely turned upside down. And one major thing that sticks out to me here is that cloud. It's just like a fog or a cloud. It turns into... It starts off from the surface of the water, and it makes like a cylindrical form, and it engulfs these vessels. And sometimes people disappear with it. But we're under the impression now that it's... and even Gian J. Quasar says this in the book, that the people aren't necessarily dead that go missing. They've simply gone to another dimension. Which is... I mean, that's a better story than them just mysteriously dying. So we put our prayers out for everyone who has succumbed to this and met the end of their lives going through this area. But there's a lot of people that have gone missing that are just not here anymore. They're not dead, but they're not here anymore. And try explaining that to just a random person on the street. Alright, so before we jump into this, I'm gonna send this out real quick. Make sure we got our people on Facebook knowing what's going on. But yeah, I have Substack, I have BitChute, Odyssey, Instagram, Facebook, and of course YouTube, Rumble as well, if I didn't say that already. Okay. Let's get to it. Again, make sure to drop a like down below. Also, if you have anything to add to this conversation and this deep dive, let me know in the comments below. And I will follow up with you and share my thoughts to your questions. Okay? And that helps keep the channel moving along. So, without further ado, let's get started. And we will run through this entire chapter today. I don't think we will be here for 2 hours. I think it'll be more like an hour and a half. But let's get started. Chapter 4. Aircraft damage and injury index presumed. Prior to the index year of 1978, the records of the National Transportation Safety Board hold very little, and database searches will only give the barest of information regarding missing aircraft. Called a, quote, brief, end quote, this information essentially includes location, course, some hint of weather conditions, the number of those aboard, and the type of aircraft. A brief summary may also be at the bottom of the one-page chit if there is more specific information available to summarize. Redundant information is not recorded, such as the extent of what was, for a disappearance anyway, obviously a fruitless search. Altogether, the quote brief, end quote, lives up to its name. With or without a summary, the incident is always concluded with officious terseness. Quote, aircraft damage and injury index presumed, end quote. Considering that a disappearance is being summarized there, is little more... Sorry, I'll reread that. Considering that a disappearance is being summarized, there is little more that can be deduced with certainty. Prior to the index year of 1962, there is nothing to even form a dot matrix printout. Although the Civil Aeronautics Board, the precursor to the National Transportation Safety Board, investigated the accidents to small private aircraft under the heading, quote, general aviation, end quote, the reports were eventually thrown out or remain lost in boxes in a warehouse, the likes of which is probably best illustrated at the ending of the movie Raiders of the Lost Ark, where even the Holy Ark of the Covenant could be conveniently lost amongst all that the federal government owned and carelessly stored. Averaging missing aircraft statistics during the span covered by extant records, however, can provide one with relative certainty as to how many must have vanished in the time prior. Between 1962 and 1977, so 1962 through 1977, 4 aircraft, on an average, vanished each year. This does not include those where heavy weather was listed, though we must keep in mind that those that vanished in heavy weather may not necessarily have vanished because of those conditions. From 1945 to 1962, it is safe to say that the average remained fairly even. Despite the lack of readily accessible official reports, supposedly 9 aircraft vanished in 1949 alone. The unexpected number being the reason the figure was preserved in popular journals. The number of airplanes lost in unusual circumstances in the 1950s must be staggering, comparable to the 40 aircraft that vanished between 1962 and 1977. It should be noted, however, that the 1960s was the dawn of the golden age of the weekend wing flyer, with perhaps many more small aircraft flying the Bahamas than in the 1950s, thus perhaps providing a greater average for missing aircraft. As one might imagine, those cases that are preserved for us in newspaper accounts are those wherein there is the quality of the unusual and unexplained. Such is the case of the disappearance of a Maryland couple, George and Margaret Dixon, who on January 27th, 1960, were returning to the U.S. from their honeymoon vacation in Puerto Rico. Nearing the Caicos Islands in their Cessna light plane, Dixon sent radio messages indicating that he was lost and couldn't find the island group. Overhearing him and acting as a link with base stations was a military C-54. For 20 minutes, the pilot tried to home in on Dixon's messages, yet without success before the radio waves fell silent. No trace was ever found of the plane or the life rafts and life vests it carried aboard. Quote, "It is believed that a faulty radio-magnetic compass may have caused the couple to overshoot their destination and then ditch the Cessna 180 when it ran out of gas." End quote. Presents a frustrating conclusion because of the lack of clarity whether Dixon stated he believed his compass was faulty or whether the pilot of the C-54 merely deduced this in the absence of being able to make out what the actual problems were. As we will see, pilots who encountered electromagnetic aberrations, including the, quote, electronic fog, end quote, have still been able on occasion to use their radios, though the communication is weaker than normal and their words confusing to others trying to listen in. The disappearance of the Pompano Beach nurse Carolyn Cascio, that's spelled Coscio, and her boyfriend Richard Rosen on June 6, 1969, appears almost identical to the Dixon disappearance. She too was flying in the same general vicinity. In this instance, trying to find Grand Turk just south of the Caicos Islands. Cascio indicated she too was lost, but was circling two islands, quote, with nothing down there, end quote. Meanwhile, guests at the Ambergris K Hotel, so this is spelled Ambergris, the Ambergris K Hotel, were annoyed by her light Cessna 172 repeatedly circling overhead. Finally, it dashed off into the sunset. If Casco's plane, such a foolhardy act, was her final attempt to find Grand Turk. No explanation exists for why she thought she was circling a deserted island. No trace of Cascio and her aircraft were ever found. While a further discussion of this incident is reserved for later, it is interesting to note here no reason could be discerned why she was lost. Just as in Dixon's case, whether it was her compass or the malfunction of any other equipment. Details were scant but provocative for the disappearance on February 10th, 1974, of a charter twin-engine Briton-Norman Islander which vanished precisely at 7:31 p.m. while in the remarkable circumstances of coming in for a landing at Harry S. Truman Airport on St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands. This incident was known to this present observer only through the brief and its intriguing summation. So there's a quote here, it's all capital letters. CLRD, which I think is an abbreviation for a word. I'm not sure what word it's abbreviating. CLRD 2 TO LND St. Thomas failed to arrive, presumed lost at sea. End quote. A provocative enough statement in itself. Later, however, far more sensational details emerged. Noted Baltimore attorney Harry Ezratti, that's spelled Ezratty, approached and elaborated on his experience with an odd disappearance while a young attorney for a charter airline. It quickly became obvious he was speaking of this same incident, only glibly preserved in the brief summary. At the time of the incident, he and the company's president flew out of New York for St. Thomas to help in the search and to try and understand what had happened. He retained a clear and first-hand memory of the events. And listed here is the full description of what he wrote down here, so give me a moment. I have a feeling that this show is not being sent out to the subscribers. Probably because I changed the date on this, but it shouldn't have done that. So I'm going to make a quick post here so people get notification. Okay. So this is the letter, or the notes of the event. And this is from Harry Ezratti. I was a legal counsel for North K Airways, a commuter airline. In 1973, in parentheses, I believe, end parentheses, we were flying Norman Islanders, a 9-seater, in parentheses, plus pilot, end parentheses, plane. We had a charter to St. Croix, but could not carry their luggage in such a small plane. A second Norman Islander with pilot and luggage handler took the baggage. In those days, Virgin Island airports closed at sunset. Since the baggage plane left after the passengers and it was late, the decision was made to fly to St. Thomas, the shorter flight, before the airport closed down. It would go on the next day to St. Croix. The plane was on course and on radar for landing in St. Thomas. Another commuter airliner, the Prinair, was following the North K flight. Prinair acknowledged visual sighting of the plane and requested instructions for landing. Just before landing, the tower and Prenair pilot lost sight of the North K flight. No noise or water disturbance was heard. The plane had disappeared. The next morning, I received notice of the event and with the CEO, flew to St. Thomas. Since the event occurred in the landing path, we could not linger over the site. The waters off St. Thomas, as I'm sure you know, are as clear as water from the tap. Despite divers and aerial visuals, and in parentheses, we landed and took off several times so that we could fly over the area, end parentheses. There was no wreckage of the plane, no floating luggage, nothing. A bizarre sidelight of this encounter was that the widow of the pilot filed for death benefits under workman's compensation. The labor board had a hard time handling the claim because she couldn't prove his death. And so that's the account there, and I believe we're now hearing from this book's author, continuing on. Another attorney took over the case for Ezrati in the Southern District of New York and finished it in 1980. But it was doubtful whether he still had the paperwork and original report from the National Transportation Safety Board. Another lead could provide more details. This would be the compensation records. Ezrati recalls that the widow of the pilot took things in hand and finally got, quote, an expert in compensation claims, end quote, and somewhere the report might exist in his work or in viable depositions contained therein. Startling examples of similar inexplicable circumstances can be found in the incident reports on other missing aircraft. From 1978 to the present, all reports are still available. Actually, over the first 4 years of available reports, there are over 30 aircraft disappearances. So that's 30. Hey Juan, good to see you here. I'll be checking the chat every now and then. I'm just going to continue reading through here. Just trying to keep it on pace. Good to see you here, though, Juan. So actually, over the first 4 years of available reports, there are over 30 aircraft disappearances, with at least one in each year suggesting incredible circumstances. One involving the participation of, quote, electronic fog, end quote. Another indicating time-space displacement. A blatant encounter with UFO interference. And most notably in 1978, the very first year of available records, an incident almost identical to the disappearance of the Norman Islander in February 1974, except in this case the details are carefully preserved in the accident report narrative and no less incredible than those recalled by Harry Ezrati. The disappearance also involved a twin-engine charter. This was a Piper Navajo, also coming from St. Croix at night and so close to landing at Harry S. Truman Airport that its landing light was being watched by the tower controller, William Kittinger. The circumstances are more unbelievable because essentially, this is the only case in the triangle in which an aircraft was observed in the form of its landing light to suddenly vanish before the eyes of a witness. He had cleared the twin Piper Navajo for landing and was presently watching its landing light steadying in line with runway 9. He shifted his glance to the radar scope to follow a Heron DH-114, presently taking off from a parallel runway. Here he noticed that the scope only showed a single blip, the Heron taking off. He quickly looked back out the window of the tower, and there was no more landing light from the Navajo. Within the span of shifting glances from the window to the scope, the biblical, quote, twinkle of an eye, end quote, the Piper Navajo had vanished. Immediately alerted to a possible down aircraft, a Cessna 172 in the landing circle diverted and overflew the approach, but sighted nothing. An intensive search over the days following found no trace, nor did it sight anything in the, quote, tap water, end quote, the clear shallows which comprise the ocean over the approach route. Moreover, the Navajo was equipped with an ELT, but there was no signal ever picked up. And the incident remains one of the most peculiar in the Triangle to this day. So I want to say here, with this particular instance, it brings up the question of the whole observation effect, that this even extends into the Bermuda Triangle. Once nobody else is looking at or observing these aircraft or ships, that's when the phasing in and out of this dimension to the other one happens. So it'd be a nice experiment to, I mean, this, you can't really do that with this because it's you can't control it. This is happening spontaneously, but in a controlled environment, I wonder if you were still able to observe this phenomenon the way it is, like as naturally as it is in the field here. That once that last set of eyes leaves the target craft in question, that's when all of this weird stuff happens. But if you were to be watching this thing the whole time, maybe nothing happens. The whole slit experiment with the particles going through and nobody watching the particles, you end up seeing like two slits, but when nobody's watching the particles go through the slits, it's all randomly hitting the wall behind it. But if you were to observe it, it would continue to be in formation just within the two lines of the slits. So I'm wondering, like, that has to be connected somehow to all of this. Reports from 1978 through the present have also provided enough details to determine that over 120 aircraft have carried ELTs. Nevertheless, each one vanished without a trace of a signal having been picked up by other planes, base stations, or tracked on the satellite tracking network. More aircraft disappeared in 1978 than in any other year in the history of the Bermuda Triangle. While it does not behoove the present observer to detail them all, since they can be found already published, and that was in the book Into the Bermuda Triangle from the 2003 book Into the Bermuda Triangle. It is worthwhile to discuss some of those that have vanished on radar or within radio communication with airfields or other aircraft, since it is precisely these circumstances which give us clues to the unusual, to say the least, last moments of the flights, and the possible forces that may be at work in their disappearances, before they flew into what can only be said to be oblivion. All sorts of circumstances have been captured on radar, which has given rise to a whole new field of evidentiary interpretation. A solitary blip indicating the target has, on the next sweep of the scope's arm, suddenly become more than one blip, a sure indication that the aircraft imploded during convective storm activity. Spatial disorientation has been captured preceding loss on radar, evident by an erratic course, many times followed by a 360 turn to lower altitude before radar coverage is discontinued by what is obviously the crash of the aircraft. Altogether, this recording the sequence of a, quote, dead man spiral, end quote, into the sea. Wreckage is found in each scenario, but for those that leave no trace at sea indicating a crash, coincidentally, or possibly not so coincidentally, radar shows that they just had, quote, winked out, end quote. One turn of the radar scope, they are there. The next, it is blank. Within this scenario, there is the disappearance of a DC-3 airliner on September 21st, 1978. One of the 11 disappearances of aircraft that year. Along with the sudden, quote, blotting out, end quote, of the Piper Navajo coming in for a landing, this incident makes that 1 year of the most provocative in the history of the Bermuda Triangle. N407D was over the Florida Straits en route to Havana with a special clearance when it veered to one side as if avoiding something, and then it was gone. The search was immediate, one that included Cuban rescue forces as well. Often the excuse, whether truly believed or chosen out of conformity, the aircraft disappeared because of tardy searches, meaning that the sea had enough time to disperse the debris, is not applicable here and in many other disappearances. No trace was found despite an immediate search directed by the last radar return. To the observer, it seems impossible to not be struck by the irony presented in all the cases, most notable here when compared with those where weeks later, as in the case of Southern Districts or Marine Sulphur Queen, there's two different ships here, Southern Districts or Marine Sulphur Queen, debris of some sort is located over a vast ocean, but in the case of N407D and others, there is no telltale clue whatsoever. I assume there's a typo here. There is no telltale clue whatsoever despite immediate and coordinated searches pinpointed by radar. All of its seat cushions, blue in color, in parentheses, over 30 of them, end parentheses, were floatable. There was much cabin paneling, etc., and yet no trace of this aircraft could be found. If one does not reach out to consider some exceptional cause in this or other similarly missing aircraft, one is left with nothing more than trying to explain them away. In this case, explanations would also need to include trying to account for why no ELT signal was picked up. What may be the only time that such an ELT signal was picked up was on April 27th, 1978, when a Ted Smith 601 was en route to Panama City, Florida, from Pompano Beach. The aircraft had vanished, but later a brief, indeed fleeting ELT signal was heard, so short that it could not be traced. In all, 11 aircraft vanished over 1978, a number that had not been approached since 1949. Though now, one would have imagined that with better radios, navigation equipment, ELTs, plus quicker search craft, it should be considered far more phenomenal than in 1949, if not impossible under natural circumstances. If viewing these as only crashes, the search is better vectored now, should have at least picked up some shred of flotsam, or flotsam, FLOTSAM. Actual stats on missing airplanes may increase with the discovery of details on stolen aircraft for these decades. These cases are often not investigated by the NTSB, and therefore there is no reflection of the flight's loss in their records. Without any entry for the registration number, even a database search yields no clue to the mishap. Rentals or borrowed aircraft are invariably the ones classified as stolen if they should disappear. The only legal way the owner can collect his insurance. It was via this method that decades after the fact, the disappearance of Kenneth Brodacki came to light. Along with a friend, he had taken off in a large Beech Queen Air in March 1979 and headed out into the Triangle, possibly eventually to South America. On the whole, this is all that is known. He was later listed with the DOE network, that's DOE, and the aircraft appeared on the insurance lists, but never in the database of the National Transportation Safety Board. The quote, 2 years crisis of 1978 and 1979 would seem bad enough with 20 aircraft missing in those 2 years alone. But with the addition of Brodacki's flight, it brings the tally of 1979 to 10 planes, almost equal to 1978's total number, at least insofar as it is known. The same classification of, quote, stolen, end quote, kept the disappearance of Steve Harrison Sr. out of the records for close to 30 years. With his own light twin Cessna 310 in the shop in North Carolina, he rented a Cessna 310 and flew his friend to the Bahamas. He phoned his wife the night before his return trip, and somewhere over the Bahamas, he vanished. Lawsuits later followed over insurance issues, as the owner of the aircraft had no choice but to declare the aircraft stolen, despite the circumstances. Steve Sr.'s daughter, Pam Harrison, would begin the first detailed search for her father 30 years later. In this case, one that tried to reconcile unidentified wrecks in the Bahamas with the registration number of the missing aircraft. No study of missing aircraft in the Bermuda Triangle can fail to accept the significance No study of missing aircraft in the Bermuda Triangle can fail to accept the significance of one stunning disappearance. This is the disappearance on June 28th, 1980 of N3808H, an air coupe 415D off the west coast of Puerto Rico, after a panicked mayday in which the pilot Jose Torres is reporting he is taking evasive action to try and escape a, quote, weird object, end quote, bearing down on him and at times trying to prevent him from making the safety of the nearby coastline. In the background, his passenger Jose Santos can be heard to say, quote, look, end quote, in somewhat odd tone. And I believe that's the recording that we have playing at the intro of this series. I have a little bit of radio chatter in the intro at the very beginning, and that, I believe, is from this instance. Iberia Flight 976 intercepted the Mayday and acted as a link with San Juan International. At the same time, Atlantic Weapons Radar was tracking Torres' aircraft until, that is, it mysteriously vanished from the scope. Though being a military base, their comments did not add whether there was another blip on the scope indicating the, quote, weird object, end quote, that Torres was so alarmed by. However, after the air coupe vanished, a blip soon returned on the scope. Presumably the air coupe. Proceeding at a different angle from where the air coupe had last vanished, the blip then vanished again. Within this time span, if this was Torres and Santos, neither sent a message elaborating on their current circumstances. A fuller discussion of this disturbing incident is reserved for later, including parts of the transcript of the Mayday, which was recorded and preserved. However, it should be noted here that this is not the only occasion in which radar helped confirm unusual events independent of the pilot's last message, sometimes very terse, which nevertheless shed a little light on the circumstances before the plane vanished from the scope. In another case, after the aircraft had vanished, a blip indicating the plane returned to the scope, also tracking in another direction, but the pilot still sent no more messages. This was on February 22nd, 1978, when a Navy KA-6 attack bomber vanished after the pilot alerted the carrier Kennedy. So that's the name of the carrier. Its destination, it was its destination to, quote, stand by, end quote, which was soon followed by the co-pilot stating, quote, stand by, we have a problem, end quote, without time for either to clarify the problem. The aircraft, only 100 miles distant off North Carolina, then disappeared from the radar scope before another, quote, return, end quote, registered but headed in a different direction. On February 11th, 1980, stranger communication preceded the disappearance of N9027Q, a twin Beech Baron that... my apologies here. On February 11th, 1980, stranger communication preceded the disappearance of N9027Q, a twin Beech Baron, than that which preceded Torres and Santos' disappearance. Although no, quote, weird object, end quote, was mentioned, the pilot, Peter Jensen, reported he was off Miami, lost and disoriented in clouds at only 150 feet altitude. He was out of fuel, he declared, and was going down. Search operations off Miami reported nothing but perfect weather, and no trace was ever found. This proved to be only one of the mysteries. Miami had never heard Jensen. They never heard Jensen. Jetliners around Bermuda, 1,000 miles away, had actually intercepted the messages and had relayed his mayday to Miami. Even stranger than the displacement of the radio maydays, which can be explained by rare, though freak, bounces in the atmosphere, there is the report from the tower of Caicos Island, which is about 600 miles distant from Miami. Later that night, after searches off Miami had been secured, specifically 6 hours after Jensen's last message indicating he was out of fuel and ditching, they distinctly heard the call letters of Jensen's aircraft N9027Q, spoken by, quote, a young voice, end quote. This fit Jensen perfectly. And in parentheses, he was only 16, though a student in the Civil Air Patrol, end parentheses. This voice stated that he was only 10 minutes out and requested permission to land. Given permission by the tower, he nevertheless did not arrive. Jensen and the Baron are still listed as missing to this day, though no explanation can be given for the radio messages that came in 6 hours after fuel starvation and 600 miles from where he had last reported himself disoriented in, quote, clouds, end quote, off the stunningly clear Miami coast. Freaking delayed radio messages were received after the disappearance on January 6th, 1981, of a Beechcraft Bonanza with 4 persons on board, piloted by, quote, Robert Spector, end quote, a rather ominous name in light of events. The 4 were headed to Nassau to answer charges on illegal gun possession. About 20 minutes past their Nassau ETA at 11:41 a.m., the first mayday was picked up by a pilot over the Yissilmissil. The message was faint and did not include a call sign. Hours later, now past the time of Spector's estimated fuel exhaustion, another pilot over the Yissilmissil heard more than one mayday, this time with Spector's call numbers spoken. This indicated the aircraft was lost for unknown reasons. While it is easy to believe they staged their own disappearance instead of facing the consequences of a Bahamian court, the mystery extends beyond what one would think could be manipulated by human ingenuity. The last radio message was picked up at least 30 minutes after fuel starvation would have happened. Despite an aircraft remaining in the vicinity to act as a good Samaritan between the tower and, quote, Spector, end quote, the messages could not be homed in on, and the Good Samaritan pilot could not get the messages in louder or prompt. Sorry, this felt like a run-on sentence here. Despite an aircraft remaining in the vicinity to act as a good Samaritan between the tower and the, quote, Spector, end quote, the messages could not be homed in on, and the Good Samaritan pilot could not get the messages in louder or prompt a more concise answer from Spector. It could be suggested that the faintness of the messages could indicate the aircraft had landed in Cuba. though this does not explain why no other aircraft except those two in the vicinity of the Exumas had overheard the maydays. Nor does it explain why Spectre would continue to transmit from a secret airfield runway after the time of his fuel exhaustion, which would only tend to create suspicion he was faking the messages in order to fake his own demise at sea. Investigation only clouded things more. It turned out Spectre was completely unknown to Opa-locka Airport, where the plane was based. It is inexplicable that there was no warning message preceding the disappearance on March 31st, 1984, of a beefy Cessna 402B en route to Bimini from Fort Lauderdale, considering that the Cessna was tracked on radar, which showed it suddenly slowed to a dangerously low airspeed of 90 knots, and then after maintaining this for a brief span, plunged off the scope. No trace of the aircraft was found, and an immediate search. The only clue at sea level didn't fit. 2 witnesses saw an aircraft or a tall splash indicative of a plane impact into the shallow waters east of Bimini, about 35 miles from where the Cessna 402B had vanished off the scope. There was no other aircraft missing that day, and searches and dives failed to find a trace where the witnesses saw the splash in the water, which was only 18 feet deep and therefore should have easily revealed aircraft wreckage below. By the way, you want to know how suppressed this stream is today? We have 2,110 subscribers, but 1 concurrent viewer with 3 total views. And we've been on for 54 minutes. I'm completely blacklisted, shadow banned. Like, I can go live as many times as I want throughout the week, and it's not going to get up above 10 views concurrent. But I have only 1 person watching, and I put a post out. This stream is being actively suppressed. There's no other answer to it. It's been almost a year that I've been doing this show. And every time it seems to do the same thing. I get a good handful of people in here, the regulars, and I thank all of you for being here. But where's the rest of all of you? I'm wondering what's going on. I try to do this at different days to try to possibly confuse YouTube. Other times I do need to reschedule, but there's no reason for this having no reach. It's totally blacklisted off of everything. It's crazy. I've been here for 55 minutes and nothing. Just three viewers. And I posted this on Facebook too, so I have about 1,000 friends on Facebook, and not one of y'all went and clicked on this. I don't get it. I really don't. But those of you that are here, thank you. And I know a lot of you do watch this after the fact, and you guys don't get the notifications live for some reason. Again, that's something on YouTube's end. I don't know what's happening with that. But enough of me complaining here. I just wanted to point that out, especially for people watching after the fact here, that this show doesn't get people. Yeah, now there's a second concurrent viewer after I say something, right? It's not that big of a deal to me. It just is it's unreal. It's on 2,000 subs, 3 people watching. Make it make sense. It's not the content. So we got a little map here and a few more paragraphs before we're going to read all of these. We have this list of missing aircraft. That's going to be the end portion of this. And there are quite a few here. But I'm going to list them all. And then there's a concluding page, and then we got 6 different photographs to check out, and that's the entire chapter for today. But here on page 100, we have a map, and the caption underneath reads, "Aircraft disappearances are marked in triangles and ships in ovals. Those above record the major disappearances between 1980 and today." And today is, what I believe is 2017. So between 1980 and 2017, and these are all on the list that I'm going to be reading. But the aircraft disappearances are marked in triangles, and the ships in ovals. I went too close. I messed up the camera. Hold on a minute. Okay. So we have this map of Florida. Is it Florida? Yeah. I almost couldn't tell because of the coast, the big coastline. So here's Florida right here. Right in the middle there. I'm just trying to give a good starting point. But everything around the coastline of Florida, then trailing off through to all, this is all shallow water, and then out on the side here. Man, I really gotta fix this here. I don't know why it keeps on moving. There we go. So Bermuda's up in the top corner here. And really, it's kind of hard to see the ovals and triangles on this. Really, what I'd have to do is like scan these pages in and just blow it up really big. But you get the idea. The whole point of this map is to show the patterns of the range of the disappearances. It's like all along the coastline. It's all in the Florida Keys. And like this cluster alone is what we're going to be reading the list of. Juanavila says that's a shame what they do. Yeah, in regards to YouTube, it's kind of crazy. I'm monetized. They want me to do a lot more reels. Like, they've clearly proven that to me, that that's what they want from me. But I like doing these long form videos. I'll be making reels of this show and Coral Castle at some point. But I would be starting from the very beginning of the series. I feel that would be the best way to go about it. I like doing things in sequential order. But I could also just take clips from this show and put 3 clips up, and that's going to just make the channel explode. Because the reels, for some reason, get hundreds to thousands of views per upload. It's great. But there's like lack of engagement. It's like there's all bots on YouTube. Like nobody, like maybe there's 20 to 30 of you that are really actually looking at the channel, and everybody else are bots, just like not speaking or liking anything, just a view, and it comes and goes. And I've been noticing a lot of the, I don't know, it's crazy. Whatever. YouTube can do much better, and they're not. Like, I'm not even talking about anything current with politics. It's like, I'm specifically, this deep dive, that's all we're talking about is Bermuda Triangle. And what strangeness happens here. Everything that's documented here. So we got 2 paragraphs to read, and then we're going to get into the missing aircraft list. And this, the purpose of me reading this list out is to just have you understand the immensity, like the amount, just the sheer amount of just completely disappeared planes and ships. Plus the amount of people gone missing on each. Alright, and before we start reading again, I need some more water, and I feel we'll wrap up within the hour. We just hit 1 hour. Okay. Although radar did not confirm unexplained or even alarming events preceding the disappearance for many of those aircraft lost over the 1980s and 1990s, mystery is overwhelmingly associated with the aftermath of their losses. Not only was the total lack of any flotsam in the immediate searches a cause for comment, but this mystery remains to the present time. Many were flying over the shallow Bahama banks, almost unavoidable for the airways in the southwest corner of the Bermuda Triangle. Over time, no unidentified wreck site has formed on the shallow bottoms. Each site should easily stand out as a green scar in contrast to the soft azure colors of the sandy bottom, because of like the moss and everything probably that would grow on the vessels there. This marled area is the result of the turtle grass and other undersea growth that thrives in shallows on the wrecks, but not otherwise in the miles of sandy bottom. Colloquially, these are called, quote, eyes, end quote, because they stand out vividly as little circles of vegetation or oases. It's not oases. Yeah, oases. OASES. Vegetation or oases in the otherwise desert-like bottom sands. They are divided frequently, especially when a new one shows up, because they indicate wreckage, the object of so many curious divers in the tropic Bahamas. None of the dozens of aircraft that vanished over the shallow banks, none of those that vanished close to shore, ever left wreckage to be located on the beaches or retrieved by the heavy yacht traffic over the Sorry, I ran into a word I don't know how to pronounce. Just give me a second here. Archipelago. None of the dozens of aircraft that vanished over the shallow banks, and none of those that vanished close to shore, ever left wreckage to be located on the beaches or retrieved by the heavy yacht traffic over the archipelago. And now with time, the mystery extends beyond time to include no indication that they crashed into the shallow bottom, and their wreckage lies below, forming little oases and turtle grass. Rather than redetailing each of these cases, for which the reader can consult Into the Bermuda Triangle, The list below helps to convey the extent of the mystery that is involved here. The list below, though by no means complete, nevertheless represents the most complete listing of missing aircraft there is. And I'm going to just show the pages briefly before we read this. But this is the aircraft. All aircraft missing. And it continues on for pages and pages here. So it just keeps going. But it does end. There's about a little over 100 of each. Over 100 planes and over 100 ships that we're going to read out. And then we got the 6 photographs at the end, and that's going to be about it for today. And we are going from 1942 to 2012 for the planes. And then for the vessels, 1917 through 2016. Missing aircraft in the Bermuda Triangle. 1942. February 15th. 047B on patrol near Dry Tortugas. 3 people. June 5th. PBY Catalina in Gulf of Mexico. There's no number after that. March 7th, 1943. Douglas Dauntless off Norfolk. 3 missing people. I assume that's what it is, right? I'm assuming that's the number of people that were... Yeah, it's... Later on, it's saying the amount of crew. So March 7th, 1943, Douglas Dauntless off Norfolk. 3 people. June 21st, 1943, Ventura near Marquesas Keys. 5 people. July 10th, 1943, Ventura from Guantanamo, Cuba. 5 people. August 7th, 1943, Ventura on patrol, blamed on sub. 5 people. September 7th, 1943, Ventura on search mission. 5 people. October 2nd, 1943, PBY Catalina, Gulf of Mexico. No people. November 13th, 1943, Ventura, convoy duty off Trinidad. 6 people. February 21st, 1944, PBY Catalina off St. Augustine, Florida. No people. April 24th, 1944, B-24 Liberator, Bahamas to Keys. 8 people. July 27th, 1944, PBY Catalina off Norfolk. 9 free French. September 11th, 1944, Dauntless off Miami. No people. February 7th, 1945, B-24 Liberator near Bermuda. No people. March 6th, 1945, Dauntless east of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. No people. July 10th, 1945, PBM Mariner over Bahamas on night patrol. Okay, so whenever there's not a number, I'm just not going to say no, people. I'm just going to move on. July 18th, 1945, Navy privateer on patrol over Bahamas. That's kind of odd. So they listed everything with, like, they started the list on the next page, so now we have a numbered list. Why didn't that start before? I don't know what that even means, why it's like listed like that. I'll just show you here real quick. So I just read all that out. But the next page, it starts with numbered 1, starting in 1945. Okay. Here we go. Number 1, 1945, December 5th. The entire training flight of 5 Navy TBM Avengers. Crew, 14 people. And we'll be talking about the Avengers and what happened with those planes. There's a whole separate book about it by the same author. Number 2, December 5th, 1945. PBM Martin Mariner off Banana River, Florida. At 28 degrees 59 minutes NL and 80 degrees 25 minutes WL. Crew 13 people. I'm just trying to understand what I read to you earlier. Perhaps that's... we were reading off the numbers at the end. Maybe that means there's like the incidents 3, and then if there's 1, it's not listed as a number. That seems to be what it was. Okay, I'm just going to move on. I'm going to continue reading here. July 3rd, so number 3, July 3rd, 1947, a C-54 Douglas en route from Bermuda to Miami in cargo service. Crew, 7 people. Number 4, January 30th, 1948, BSAAC Tudor 4 airliner Star Tiger GAHNP near Bermuda, 29 aboard. Number 5, December 28th, 1948, NC 16002 Douglas DC-3 south of Miami on approach to the airport. Persons aboard, 31. Number 6, January 17th, 1949, Tudor 4 Star Ariel GAGRE, the sister of Star Tiger. Bermuda for Kingston, Jamaica, 19 aboard. Number 7, September 11th, 1950, F9F2 Panther, Atlantic Ocean. That's all it says. Number 8, November 27th, 1950, Grumman Hellcat off Key West, Florida. Number 9, December 21st, 1952, Curtis C-46 in cargo, 3 crew. Number 10, December 5th, 1953, Lockheed Texan, Atlantic Ocean. Number 11, October 30th, 1954, Super Constellation, Maryland for Les Azores. Crew and passengers, 42. Number 12, November 9th, 1956, Martin Marlin, amphibious patrol plane about 350 miles north of Bermuda. Crew, 10. Number 13, January 27th, 1960, Cessna 180 near Caicos Island. 2 aboard. Number 14, March 18th, 1960, F-104C Starfighter missing from squadron off Bermuda. Number 15, October 15th, 1961, an 8-engine SAC B-52 Pogo 22 north of Bermuda. Crew, 8. Number 16, January 8th, 1962, Air Force KB-50 aerial tanker, North Carolina to Les Azores. Crew, 8. Number 17, May 27th, 1962, a C-133 cargo master between Dover and Les Azores. Crew, 10. Number 18, August 28, 1963, a KC-135 Stratotanker jets disintegrate over the... it says 2 KC-135 Stratotanker jets disintegrate over the Sargasso Sea. Crew, 10. Number 19, September 22nd, 1963, another C-133 cargo master, Dover for the Azores. Crew, 10. Number 20, February 8th, 1964, Piper Apache N2157P between Grand Bahama and West Palm Beach, Florida. 4 people aboard. I'm going to take a pause here. Probably like every 20, I will take a pause. Okay, the next pauses won't be as long. Okay. Number 21, December 5th, 1964. Cessna 140 N81089 with 2 persons off New Smyrna Beach, Florida. Number 22, June 5th, 1965. A C-119 Miami to Grand Turk. Crew, 10. Number 23, September 15th, 1965, Beechcraft C-18S N8063H with 3 persons near St. Thomas 6 or VI or Virgin Islands, sorry. Near St. Thomas, Virgin Islands, around 7:26 p.m. Number 24, October 31st, 1965. Cessna 182 N4010D, somewhere between Marathon Key and Key West, Florida. 2 people. Number 25, December 6th, 1965. Air Coupe N99660 between Fort Lauderdale and Grand Bahama. 2 people. Number 26, December 29th, 1965, Piper Cherokee N6077P, South Caicos for San Juan, 3 people. Number 27, April 5th, 1966, converted cargo B-25 N92877, Fort Lauderdale to Aruba. Number 28, September 20th, 1966, Tampa to Baton Rouge, N7090P, Piper Comanche, 2 people. Number 29, January 11th, 1967, Chase YC-122 N-122E, between Fort Lauderdale and Bimini, in the Bahamas, 4 people. January 14th, 1960, number 30, January 14th, 1967, Bonanza N7210B near Key Largo, 4 people. Number 31, January 17th, 1967, Piper Cherokee N4129P en route St. Thomas from San Juan. Number 32, July 2nd, 1967, near Meguez, Puerto Rico, Cherokee N5100W, 4 people. Number 33, August 6th, 1967, between Miami and Bimini, Piper Cherokee N8165W, 3 people. Number 34, October 3rd, 1967, Cherokee N3775K, Great Inagua for San Juan. Number 35, November 8th, 1967, Cessna 182, N7121E, Georgetown, Great Exuma, and Nassau, 4 people. Number 36, November 22nd, 1967, Cherokee N9443J near Cat Island, Bahamas, 4 people. Number 37, May 29th, 1968, Cessna 172 N1483F near Grand Turk. Number 38, July 8th, 1968, between Grand Bahama and West Palm Beach, Cessna 180 N944MH, 2 people. Number 39, January 5th, 1969, Piper Comanche N8653P, between Pompano Beach, Florida and North Carolina, 2 people. Number 40, February 15th, 1969, Beechcraft 95 C55 N9490S en route Miami from Georgia. And I'm going to take another pause here. Hey Andreas, I see you there. Thanks for stopping in. I'm really heavily shadow banned at this current moment. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm getting close to sharing stuff that like people don't share too often here. It's like YouTube's trying to encourage me to not do these shows. That's what it seems like. But we're going to keep going. I'm going to make sure all this information gets out there on the internet so all of you can listen to this whenever you choose to. If it's easier for you to absorb this information by just listening to me read this stuff out, so be it. That's why I'm doing this. Number 41. And by the way, these are all planes that have gone missing. Number 41, March 22nd, 1969. A Beechcraft N609R between Kingston, Jamaica and Nassau. 2 people. Number 42, June 6th, 1969. Cessna 172 N8040L between Grand Turk and Caicos Island. 2 people. Number 43, June 29th, 1969. A B-95 Beechcraft Executive N590T. Great Anagua for San Juan. Number 44, August 3rd, 1969. Piper PA-22 N8971C, West Palm Beach to Albion, New Jersey. 2 people. Number 45, October 11th, 1969. Pilatus Britain Norman Islander N852JA, Great Anagua for Puerto Rico. 2 people. Number 46, January 17th, 1970. Piper Comanche N9078P between Nassau and Opa-locka, Florida. 2 people. Number 47, July 3rd, 1970. Between Maiquetía, Venezuela and San Juan, Puerto Rico. Cessna 310G N1166T. 6 people. Number 48, November 23rd, 1970. Piper Comanche N9346P between West Palm Beach and Kingston, Jamaica. 3 people. Number 49, March 20th, 1971. A Cessna 177B N30844 with pilot en route Andros Island from Miami at 3:18 p.m. Number 50, July 26th, 1971. Piper, a rental near Barbados. 4 people. Number 51, September 10th, 1971. Phantom II F-4E jet on routine maneuvers 82 miles south of Miami. 2 people. Number 52, December 21st, 1971. Cessna 150J N61155 with pilot after leaving Pompano Beach, destination unknown. Number 53, October 10th, 1972. Super Constellation N564E between Miami and Santo Domingo. 4 people. Number 54, March 28th, 1973. Cessna 172 N7050T after leaving West Palm Beach, Florida, with pilot. Number 55, May 25th, 1973. A Navion A16 N5126K between Freeport and West Palm Beach. 2 people. Number 56, August 10th, 1973. Beechcraft Bonanza N7956K, Fort Lauderdale to Marsh Harbor, Bahamas. 4 people. Number 57, August 26th, 1973. After departing Vieques, Puerto Rico, Cessna 150 and 50143. 3 people. Number 58, December 20th, 1973. A lake amphibian N39385 between Nassau and Bimini. 3 people. February 10th, 1974. Pilot and his Cessna 414 N803Q vanish after leaving Treasure Cay, Bahamas. Number 60, February 10th, 1974. Britain Norman Islander N864JA with pilot at 7:31 p.m. on approach to St. Thomas. And I'm going to take another pause here. I didn't have that muted. Sorry about that. Alright. Number 61. And again, this is a continuing list of missing planes. Number 61, July 13th, 1974. Piper PA-32 N83 CA between West Palm Beach and Walker Cay, Bahamas. Number 62, August 11th, 1974. Beach K35 Bonanza N632Q, Pompano Beach, Florida, for Philadelphia. 2 people. Number 63, February 25th, 1975. Piper PA-30 N414DG, Greensboro, North Carolina, to Freeport, Great Bahama Islands. Pilot only. Number 64, May 2nd, 1975. Cessna Skymaster N86011, Fort Lauderdale area. Number 65, July 28th, 1975. Cessna 172 N8936V, vicinity Fort Lauderdale 1. Number 66, December 9th, 1975. Cessna 172 N5182R, St. Croix to St. Kitts. 1 person. Number 67, June 4th, 1976. Beach, BEECH, Beach, D50 N1157, Pahokee, Florida, to Dominican Republic. 2 people. Number 68, August 8th, 1976. Piper PA-28 N6377J, Veracruz, Mexico, to Brownsville, Texas. 1 person. Number 69, October 24th, 1976. Beach E50 N5665D, Opelika, Florida, to Grand Turk Island. Number 70, December 28th, 1976. Piper PA-23 N4573P, Anguilla to Beef Island. 6 people. Number 71, February 22nd, 1978. A Ka-6 Navy attack bomber vanished from radar 100 miles off Norfolk en route USS John F. Kennedy. 2 people missing. Number 72, March 25th, 1978. Aero Commander 680 N126C, Opelika, Immokalee, Florida, to Freeport, Grand Bahama. 2 people. Number 73, April 27th, 1978. Ted Smith, 601 N555BU, Pompano Beach to Panama City, Florida. 1 person. Number 74, April 30th, 1978. Cessna 172 N1GH, Atlantic Ocean. 1 person. Number 75, May 19th, 1978. Piper PA-28 N47910, Fort Pierce to Nassau. 4 people. Number 76, May 26th, 1978. Beach 65 N809Q, Haiti to Bahamas. 2 people. Number 77, July 18th, 1978. Piper PA-31 N689WW, Santa Marta, Colombia to Port-au-Prince. 2 people. Number 78, September 21st, 1978. Douglas DC-3 N407D, Fort Lauderdale to Havana. 4 people. Number 79, November 3rd, 1978. Piper PA-31 N59912, St. Croix to St. Thomas. 1 person. And in parentheses, it says right off St. Thomas, end parentheses. Number 80, November 20th, 1978. Piper PA-23 N54615, Defuniak Springs to Gainesville, Florida. 4 people. I'm going to take another break here. Okay. Number 81. January 11th, 1979. Beach N925RZ, Miami to St. Thomas. 2 people missing. Number 82. March of 1979. Beechcraft Queen Air N7959R. 2 people. Number 83, April 2nd, 1979. Beach E18S N4442, St. Lauderdale to Cat Island, Bahamas. 1 person. Number 84, April 24th, 1979. Piper PA 28R N7480J, Fort Lauderdale to Nassau. 4 people. Number 85, June 30th, 1979. Cessna 150J N60936, St. Croix to St. Thomas. 2 people. Number 86, September 9th, 1979. Cessna 182 N2183R, New Orleans to Pensacola, Florida. 3 people. Number 87, October 4th, 1979. Aero Commander 500 N3815C, Andros Island to West Palm Beach, Florida. Pilot only. Number 88. October 27th, 1979. Piper PA-23 N13986. Montego Bay, Jamaica to Nassau. Pilot only. Number 89. November 19th, 1979. Beach D50B N1706. Delray Beach, Florida to Key West. One person. Number 89. December 21st, 1979. Piper PA-23 N1435P Aguadilla to South Caicos Island. 4 people. Number 90, February 11th, 1980. Beach 58 N9027Q. St. Thomas to unknown. Only pilot aboard. Reported stolen. Number 91, April 1980. Steve Harrison Sr. in a rented Cessna 310. Number 92, May 19th, 1980. Learjet N25NE, West Palm Beach to New Orleans. 2 people. Number 93, June 28th, 1980. Airco, ERCO. Airco 415D N3808H. Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic to San Juan, Puerto Rico. 2 persons. Pilot reported UFO before disappearing. Number 94, January 6th, 1981. Beach C35 N5805C, Bimini to Nassau. Number 95, July 5th, 1982. Piper PA-28R 201T N505HP, Nashville to Venice, Florida. 4 people. Number 96, September 28th, 1982. Beach H35 N5999. Marsh Harbor to Fort Pierce, Florida. 2 people. Number 97, October 20th, 1982. Piper PA-31 N777AA. Anguilla to St. Thomas, Virgin Islands. 8 people. Number 98, November 5th, 1982. Beach 65 B80 N1HQ, Fort Lauderdale to Eleuthera Island, Bahamas. 3 people. Number 99, October 4th, 1983. A Cessna T210J N2284R, Andros Town, Bahamas to Fort Pierce, Florida. 3 people. Number 100, November 20th, 1983. Cessna 340A N85JK disappeared near Orangeville, Florida. Pilot only. And I'm going to take another pause here. Okay. Continuing on with these missing flights. Number 101, March 12th, 1984. A Piper N39677 between Key West and Clearwater, Florida. 4 people. Number 102, March 31st, 1984. Cessna 402B N44NC between Fort Lauderdale and Bimini. 6 people. Number 103, December 23rd, 1984. Aeronca. This is spelled Aeronca. 7AC N81947 between Cross City, Florida and Alabama. Pilot only. Number 104, January 14th, 1985. A Cessna 337 N505 CX in Atlanta, northeast of Jacksonville. 4 people. Number 105, May 8th, 1985. Cessna 210K N9465M Miami to Port-au-Prince, Haiti. Pilot only. Number 106, July 12th, 1985. Piper N8341L Nassau to Miami. Number 107, August 3rd, 1985. A Cessna 172 somewhere near Fort Myers, Florida. Pilot only. Number 108, September 8th, 1985. A Piper N5488 West N5488W northeast of Key West at 10:08 p.m. en route to Fort Lauderdale. Number 109, October 31st, 1985. Piper N24MS at 8:29 a.m. between Sarasota, Florida and Columbus, Georgia. Pilot only. Number 110, March 26th, 1986. A Piper N3527E en route from Miami to West End or Freeport, Great Bahama Islands. 6 people. Number 111, August 3rd, 1986. A Twin Otter around St. Vincent. 13 people. And I don't know why this is listed with the same number, but April 27th, 1987. Cessna 337 N25195 Cozumel to Boca Raton, Florida. 2 people. So I guess that's number 112 and they missed it. This is a first edition, so things happen like this. But I'm just going to read it as it is printed in here. So that would have been number 112, but that's not how it's listed. Number 112, May 27th, 1987. A Cessna 402C N2652B, Palm Beach, Florida, and Marsh Harbor, Great Abaco, Bahamas. 1 person. Number 113, June 3rd, 1987. A Cessna 401 N7896F, Freeport to Crooked Island. 4 people. Number 114, December 2nd, 1987. Cessna 152 N757EQ, La Romana to San Juan, pilot only. Number 115, February 7th, 1988, a Beech N844G, Caribbean Sea, 4 people. Number 116, February 6th, 1989, a Piper N6834J, after departing Jacksonville, Florida. Pilot despondent. 1 person. Number 117, January 24th, 1990, Cessna 152 N4802B on instructional flight near West Palm Beach, Florida. 2 people. I'm wondering if they're saying that they're the number of instances here. You see, when these guys compile all of this information, it, like the readout of it is a little different from how it's listed here. Like, reading it out loud is actually fine. It's putting it into perspective, but the list was probably made without reading it out loud. I don't know if that makes any sense. All right, number 118, June 5th, 1990, Piper N7202F, St. Martin to St. Croix. Number 119, August 10th, 1990, Piper N6946D, Sebastian, Florida, to Freeport, Great Bahama Islands. 4 people. Body found off Virginia. Number 120, April 24th, 1991, Piper Comanche N8938P off Florida. 1. And I'm going to take another pause here. We're almost done with all the planes. All right. Continuing on. Number 121, May 30th, 1991. Near Longboat Key, Piper N6376P, signaled directional gyro not working. Spun into ocean. 2 people. Number 122, October 31st, 1991. Grumman Cougar N24WJ jet. Over Gulf of Mexico, vanished on ascent while on radar. 2 people. Number 123, September 30th, 1993. Within Miami sector, Cessna 152 N93261 with only pilot on board. Number 124, August 28th, 1994. Piper PA 32 N69118 Treasure Cay, Bahamas to Fort Pierce, 2 persons. Number 125, September 19th, 1994. Piper PA 23 N6844Y, Caribbean, 5 people. Number 126, December 25th, 1994. Piper PA 28 N5916V, unknown, over Florida, pilot only. Number 127, May 2nd, 1996, Aero Commander N50GF or GV, Atlantic/Caribbean, vanished with 3 in charter service. Number 128, August 29th, 1998, Piper PA 28 N25626, Caribbean, 4 people. Number 129, May 12th, 1999. Aero Commander N6138X near Nassau, only pilot aboard. Number 130, October 27th, 2001. Cessna 172 after leaving Winter Haven, Florida, only pilot aboard. Number 131, September 6th, 2002. Piper Pawnee N59684, southeast of Nassau, Bahamas, 1 person. Number 132, November 13th, 2003. A Piper PA 32-300 N8224C went missing after leaving Staniel K. Exumas, 1 person. Number 133, June 20th, 2005. Piper PA 23 N6886Y between Treasure Bay, Bahama Islands, or maybe it's Bimini, I don't know. Capital B, capital I. I'm not sure what that abbreviation is off the top of my head. To Fort Pierce, Florida, 3 people. Number 134, April 10th, 2007. Piper PA 46 310P N444JH near Berry Islands, only pilot aboard. Number 135, December 15th, 2008. A Britain Norman Islander N650LP, Caicos Islands, 11 people. 136, December 15th, 2009. Cirrus SR22 N723LI, and just the capital letters GOM. I'm unsure what that's abbreviating. 1 person. And finally, for the missing planes, number 137, March 1st, 2012, 23 miles southeast Boca Raton, Florida, Cessna 182, suicide suspected, 1 person. And that's all the planes, and we have the vessels now, or the ships. That's all of these reports. So, like, this was combed over by this author and put together nicely in this list, just to give you the immensity of disappearances here. And complete disappearances where they don't find the aircraft or the people. We have 110 vessels. So I'm going to read 20 at a time and take breaks. But I'm going to take a short pause here real quick, and we will get right into reading. Okay. We hit the 2-hour mark. We're going to keep going because this is it for the chapters. All these vessels, and then a wrap-up paragraph, and then 6 photographs. And that is the complete chapter 4 from this book. So, missing vessels in the Bermuda Triangle. Number 1, March 1917. The 1,579 gross ton freighter Timandra, spelled Timandra, bound for Buenos Aires from Norfolk in cargo of coal, 21 crew under Captain Lee. Number 2, 1918, after March 6th. Collier USS Cyclops, after leaving Barbados for Baltimore. 309 crew and passengers under Lieutenant Commander George Worley. And this author, Gian J. Quasar, has a complete separate book just focusing on the Cyclops, which we will be covering here. Probably after the Avengers Flight 19. So those will be 2 separate books we'll be covering here in detail of these military vessel and plane. Number 3, December 1st, 1925. Steamer Cotopaxi, 32 crew under Captain Myers, Charleston, South Carolina for Havana, Cuba. Number 4, March 1926. Freighter Sudufco, spelled Suduffco, New York to Los Angeles with 4,000 tons of assorted cargo, 29 crew. Number 5, March 1938. 426-foot, 5,500 ton British freighter Anglo-Australian, that's the name of it, from Cardiff, Wales for British Columbia. 38 crew under Captain Parslow. Last reported herself off the Azores. Quote, passing Fayal this afternoon. All well. End quote. Number 6, February 4th, 1940. Schooner Gloria Colita, Gulf of Mexico, found derelict and awash. Number 7, February of 1948. 416-foot, 7,219 ton British freighter Samkey, that's one word, Samkey, reported herself at 41 degrees 48 minutes north longitude, 24 degrees west latitude on January 31st. Quote, all well, end quote. Crew of 43. Number 8, March 6th, 1948. Yacht Evelyn K, that's spelled Evelyn, and the initial K, is found deserted in the Florida Keys. 3 persons missing. Number 9, April 5th, 1950. The 185-foot coaster Sandra, with a cargo of DDT, appears in passage to Puerto Cabello, Venezuela, from Savannah, Georgia. So it just disappears in passage. Number 10, January 13th, 1955. Yacht HSH, Bermuda to Antigua. Number 11, September 26th, 1955. Yacht Connemara 4, found derelict 150 miles southeast of Bermuda. Number 12, July 1956. Schooner Bounty, between Bimini and Miami. Number 13, January 1st, 1958. 44-foot yawl Renovoc, spelled Revonoc, vanished between Key West and Miami. 4 crew. Number 14, April 16th, 1960. Yacht Ethel C, spelled Ethel and the initial C, missing off Virginia. Number 15, April 5th, 1961. Yacht Callista 3, Norfolk to Bahamas. Number 16, November 1962. Windfall, a 56-foot schooner, left Mystic, Connecticut for Bermuda. 5 crew. Number 17, February 4th, 1963. A 504-foot T2 tanker, Marine Sulphur Queen, near Florida Straits. 39 crew. Number 18, July 2nd, 1963. A fishing vessel, Snowboy, that's snow without the W, between Kingston to Northeast Caye. Number 19, 1964. There's no month, no date. 36-foot ketch, Dancing Feathers, en route from Bahamas from North Carolina. Number 20, January 14th, 1964. 58-foot Enchantress, 150 miles southeast of Charleston, South Carolina. I'm going to take another brief pause here before we read the other following 20 here. We're reading through this so you get the immensity of all of this. Number 21, October 28th, 1965. El Gato, near Great Anagua, Bahamas. Number 22, December 10th, 1967. Speed Artist is the name of the boat. Windward Islands. Number 23, December 22nd, 1967. Cabin cruiser Witchcraft, Miami Harbor. 2 persons. Number 24, July 4th, 1969. In the Sargasso Sea, freighter Cotopaxi sees derelict power yacht on automatic pilot. Number 25, July 12th, 1969. Vagabond found derelict on edge of Sargasso Sea. Number 26, August 1969. The 2 lighthouse keepers from Great Isaac's Rock Lighthouse near Bimini missing from their posts without reason. That's a first. We haven't heard about that. Number 27, November 2nd, 1969. Cabin cruiser Southern Cross found deserted off Cape May. Number 28, October 10th, 1971. 339-foot cargo vessel El Caribe, missing in Caribbean Sea. Number 29, October 27th, 1971. Fishing yacht Lucky Edur, that's spelled E-D-U-R, found derelict of New Jersey. 3 people reported to be aboard, but were missing. Number 30, Christmas time, 1971. Something annihilates 53-foot yacht Ixtapa, spelled Ixtapa, near Florida Keys. Number 31, March 21st, 1973. 541-foot collier SS Anita vanished in building hurricane off Norfolk en route to Germany. Number 32, March 23rd, 1973. 88-foot yacht Defiance derelict near Cap de Mole, St. Nicholas, Haiti. 4 people. Number 33, March of 1974. 54-foot luxury yacht Saba Bank disappears while cruising Bahamas. 4 crew. Number 34, July 24th, 1974. Dutch Treat, Miami to Bahamas. Number 35, April 22nd, 1975. 73-foot shrimper Dawn near Smith Shoals, Key West. Number 36, June 24th, 1975. Yacht Meridian, Bermuda from Norfolk. Number 37, December 2nd, 1975. Tug Boundless in the Bahamas. The name of it's called Boundless, the tugboat. Number 38, April 1976. High flight between Bimini and Miami. Number 39, October 1976. The 590-foot ore carrier Sylvia L. Ossa. It's middle initial L and then OSSA. About 140 miles west of Bermuda. Crew of 37. Number 40, December 16th, 1976. 40-foot sloop with 17 people between St. Kitts and Dominica. And I'll take another brief pause here. Okay. Continuing on. Number 41, November 20th, 1977. El Avenir, that's L'Avenir, Maryland to Bahama. Number 42, January 2nd, 1979. Tug King Cobra near Cape Henlopen. Number 43, January 12th, 1980. Sequest sends mysterious call. Navigational equipment not working. Missing with 8 crew. Number 44. April 1980. 43-foot luxury yacht Polymer 3 while cruising Bahamas. 2 aboard. Number 45. July 26th, 1980. 38-foot sailboat Calia 3 found derelict in the Exumas, Bahamas. Number 46, October 26th, 1980. The 520-foot SS Poet in cargo of corn, Cape Henlopen. I don't know where Cape Henlopen is. To Port Said, Egypt. Maybe Dominican Islands. I'm not sure. I don't know. 47, number 47, July 26th, 1982. American yacht Penetration found deserted north of Sargasso Sea. Number 48, August 17th, 1982. British yacht found deserted in Atlantic. Number 49, February 26th, 1983. 44-foot sea lure. That's the name of the... In group of other fishing vessels while headed toward Dry Tortugas, later found derelict. Number 50, November 5th/6th, 1984. The 32-foot sport fishing boat Real Fine. So it's REALFINE. 2 words. Freeport to Fort Lauderdale. 3 persons. Number 51. February 22nd, 1985. 25-foot pleasure boat with 2 Canadians aboard. Freeport to West Palm Beach. Number 52. May 3rd, 1985. 6 persons disappear in an outboard off Surf City, North Carolina. Number 53. October 27th, 1992. So there's like a 7-year gap here. It's kind of unusual for like the vessels, the ships here. October 27th, 1992, fishing vessel Mae Doris. This 2 words, MAE and Doris, with 4 crew south of Cape May. Number 54, March 4th, 1996, a 22-foot sailboat off of Key West. Number 55, March 20th, 1995, Germanic K, this is the initial K, motor vessel of 357 gross tons, Cape Haitian to Miami. Number 56, October 14th, 1996, 65-foot yacht Intrepid, 30 miles off Fort Pierce, Florida. 16 missing after quick mayday. Number 57, July 14th, 1997, 25-foot Atlantic runner in the North Atlantic. Number 58, December 1997, 23-foot Robalo, spelled ROBALO, off Virginia Beach. Number 59, January 2nd, 1998. Fishing vessel Grumpy, found derelict. Number 60, May 1st, 1998. 35-foot converted sport fisher Miss Charlotte, hit off North Carolina by force that sucked everything off deck, then sunk. Crew survived. That's one to take a note of. Hit off North Carolina by force that sucked everything off deck, then sunk, and the crew survived. What happened there? I am going to take note of this one. May 1st, 1998. I think we talked about this one before, but that still stands out. Number 61. Oh, we got through 20 already, right? Let me take a quick pause here. Okay, carrying on. And we're already halfway through the vessels. We're almost to the end here. Number 61, August 10th, 1998. The Erica Lynn. That's with 2 N's. Number 62, November 1998. The Carolina. That's the name of the ship, off Cape May. Number 63, November 1998. 74-foot Interlude, disappeared during cruise to Cayman Islands. April 15th, number 64, April 15th, 1999. Miss Ferdinandia, 85-foot shrimp trawler off Flagler Beach, Florida. Number 65, April 23rd, 1999. Motor vessel Genesis, 196 gross tons, sailed Port of Spain and cargo of 465 tons of brick, water tanks, and concrete slabs. At 5:30, bespoke M/V Survivor. That's the name of another vessel here. Search for vessel was 33,100 square miles. Number 66, August 5th, 1999. 18-foot day cruiser found derelict except for the dog off North Carolina. Number 67, November 15th, 1999. 2 persons in a 22-foot day cruiser between Frying Pan Shoals and Frying Pan Light. Number 68, December 27th, 1999. Allison Selene, found derelict 7 miles northeast of Andros, Bahamas. Number 69, April 2000. 228-foot freighter Gran Rio R disappears off West Indies. Number 70, August 14th, 2000. Fishing vessel Hemingway is found deserted, missing crew and captain. Number 71, June 22nd, 2001. Tropic bird, derelict off Antigua. Number 72, 2001, no month, no date. Sophia, derelict, Sargasso Sea. Number 73, September 23rd, 2002. Freighter Fiona R, missing off West Indies en route to St. Vincent. Number 74, June 18th, 2003. Frank and Romina Leone of West Palm Beach, Florida, vanish with their 16-foot boat off Florida. Number 75, August 3rd, 2003. Sailing yacht Windhome, Beaufort, North Carolina for Azores, June 24th. Overdue and reported missing. Number 76, August 25th, 2003. 3 men vanished with a 32-foot sleek go fast, this hyphenated, white fiberglass vessel in the Bahamas between Exumas and Mayaguana. Number 77, October 2003. Or October-November 2003. Fishing boat called What's Left? ? Number 78, November 25th, 2003. Called Peanuts 2 TOO. Deserted south of Bermuda. Number 79, March 23rd, 2004. The missing 19-foot fishing boat owned by Glenn Jameson is found by fishing vessel Chummer about 32 miles west of Egmont Key, Florida. No trace is found of Jamison. Number 80, December 21st, 2004. Fishing Yola is found abandoned off Puerto Rico. Nets deployed and anchored. 1 person. Take another brief pause here. All right. Number 81, January 2nd, 2006. James Trinidad disappears from his pleasure craft while en route to the U.S. from Bahamas. Number 82, June of 2006. Cuban fishing vessel La Cura, it's two words, L-A and C-U-R-R-A, is found recently abandoned. Number 83, September 18th, 2006. A partially submerged 18-foot pleasure boat found 9 miles east of Clearwater Beach, with fishing poles, cooler, and life jackets aboard. Number 84, September 20th, 2007. Lindsay Ford vanishes off 45-foot boat called Extra Labor. Number 85, March 15th, 2007. 25-foot boat derelict 27 miles northeast of St. Augustine. Steve Senecal went day fishing. Number 86, Number 86, October 19th, 2007. Tranquility, a 37-foot vessel, sighted adrift and abandoned 65 miles west of Johns Pass, Florida. Number 87, March 16th, 2008. A 28-foot well craft missing with 3 fishermen between Everglades City and Tampa. Number 88, April 17th, 2008. The 27-foot Don Chepo, it's two words, missing en route from St. John's, Virgin Islands for Vieques, Puerto Rico. Number 89, May 24th, 2008. A ship called Holo Kiki, it's 3 words, K-I-K-I. A 36-foot sailboat is found derelict 20 miles north of West End, Grand Bahama. Number 90, June 17th, 2008. Marcos Arguelles disappears from his 22-foot pleasure craft near Soldier Key, Florida. Number 92, March of 2009. 40-foot gaff catch Lily Olala, it's all hyphenated, headed to Bahamas from South Carolina, is reported overdue. Number 93, June 22nd, 2009. Coast Guard suspends search for 3 missing fishermen off Pinones, Puerto Rico. They had departed in a 22-foot beige Grady white fishing boat. Number 94, August 17th, 2009. The 22-foot boat of Mark Portis is found abandoned on the north end of Anclote Key. Number 95, September 20th, 2009. A small 16-foot vessel is found abandoned near Anclote Key. Pet dog remains aboard. So that's multiple instances where the dogs are found, or cats found. You have animals that are there, but the people are gone. Number 96, October 11th, 2009, off Mayaguez, Puerto Rico. 18-foot Mako, M-A-K-O. 3 people. Number 97, December 13th, 2009. 2 men vanished in a 17-foot Largo pleasure craft en route to Bimini. Number 98, May of 2010. The 46-foot Genesis. Number 99, July 1st, 2010. The boat Heads or Tails, derelict, Myrtle Beach, Florida. Number 100, September 15th, 2011. 36-foot boat called No Patience, K-N-O-W, off Cape Canaveral, Florida. Number 101, January 19th, 2012, Joy B, derelict in the Bahamas, 1 person. Number 102, July 8th, 2012, 23-foot sailboat derelict off Marathon, Florida Keys. This next list, in the list, I think it's a typo because it's 00. But I'm just going to read it through as is. December 2012. This is saying December 33rd. I don't know why. There's typos here. December of 2012. Jerry, Jeri, ABC Islands. Number 103, January 2nd, 2013. Galilean, derelict. Elliott Key, 1 person. Number 104, January 2013. Sailboat Blondie, Florida to Jamaica, 2 people. Number 105, May 14th, 2013. 39-foot trimaran, derelict off Key West. Number 106, December 20th, 2013. The ship called Happy Day Tree, Tree, off Juno Beach. Number 107, April 18th, 2014, Poker Face, 27-foot Gib, found derelict, 1 person. Number 108, May 4th, 2014, 28-foot Miss Juliet, 1 person. Number 109, January 18th, 2015, Pelangina, 2, number 2, north of ABC Islands. And number 110, March 30th, 2016, Anastasia, in the Yucatan Channel, 5 people. And keep in mind, this was published in 2017, so that was the most recent of the list before the book was published. And that's the end of the list. And we just have 2 paragraphs left here, so let's get through that. It was in 1990 that the present observer became interested in pursuing the subject of the Bermuda Triangle. And this is the author talking about himself. It had been 13 years since any book had been published on the subject. The dearth of knowledge amounting to a blackout on the entire topic. Any mention of the triangle was a recital of old and classic cases, and these usually went hand in hand with the statement that the triangle was an urban myth and the product of poor or sensational reporting. Yet if there was any basis of truth to the subject, and therefore any relevance for the many theories put forward to try and explain what seemed like inexplicable mysteries, the disappearances should still be continuing, their circumstances still drawing our attention to intriguing, albeit frustrating, clues. The result of my interest lies above. Dozens upon dozens vanished in the 1980s and 1990s. Disappearances had not abated in those silent years. Indeed, they had increased. Bizarre circumstances were far better documented, but left silently in storage boxes. It is now 13 years after the first publication of those incidents from Into the Bermuda Triangle from 2003. Disappearances have continued in the last 13 years. Some provide surprising themes, while at the same time others present some peculiar patterns that don't fit with the consistency of the previous decades. So here we have the photographs, and then that'll be it for today. First photograph, a TBM Avenger bearing Fort Lauderdale NAS's markings, and this is from NARA. Alright. Next is a BSAA Tudor 4 from the collection of J.C. McPhee, and this is provided by Joan Beckett. Next, the DC-3 is one of the most reliable aircraft ever built. NC-16002 vanished in 1948. N-407D below vanished in 1978. And these photos are provided by Alexander Arvane. So these are two planes that vanished 30 years apart. So this one from 48. And then this one in 78. Next, we have the crew of Sky Shield 2's Pogo 22, a large B-52 which vanished without trace. And below, left, one of the crewmen, Helmut Christ, Helmut, and in parentheses it says Karl Christ, so Karl. And then to the right is Steve Hannison Sr., whose disappearance in 1980 did not appear in the records. This is provided by Pam Harrison. So I assume that's his widow, but we don't know if they're still... We're under the assumption here that they went missing, but they're not dead. And that includes these guys too. And then finally, last two photographs, we have an F-104 starfighter similar to the one that vanished in 1960 off Bermuda. And below, the Marine Sulphur Queen, and this is provided by NARA. So both of these are provided by NARA. Which I think this photograph was in the previous book as well. And that's all chapter 4. We have now completed chapter 4. We are almost halfway through the book. For next week, we'll be reading chapter 5, A Triangle of Today. And I think I have it there, so we just have one part for chapter 5 next week. So that's where we'll be starting. And this is just an idea of how far we've gotten through this book. So we're about halfway through. But that does it for today. Went a little longer than I anticipated, but reading a list like that, it's going to eat up time like that. So again, thank you all for being here, and those of you watching now and after the fact, please make sure to like the video below, and you have any comments you want to leave, if you have any thoughts to share, leave them below, and Let's get a conversation going. Because, I'm here for all this. I'm taking this to the extreme, reading off these lists. But that was showing the immensity of this phenomenon, all within the same area. So that's going to do it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. And we'll be back next week, hopefully Thursday, as usual. So enjoy this little Saturday night special here. And I will be back on Tuesday with Coral Castle Deep Dive. And if you missed this past week's, I highly recommend you go and watch that thing. Because we cover concepts that I do not hear about anywhere else. The dome lines. Crazy stuff. Like, you're talking about large concepts here. But anyways, take care. And until the next one, class dismissed.